Hello, I'm Amari Jones, and today is Wednesday, March 4th. This is Caffeine TV, your daily news brief, here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. The first number up today is 39, as in 39 minutes. That was the length of an address by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel to Congress yesterday. Now, as we spoke about on yesterday's show, before his speech, the atmosphere surrounding his talk were, well, a hot mess. But the point of his address was to dissuade the Congress from supporting an impending deal being negotiated by the Obama administration between the United States and Iran on that country's nuclear program, calling it, quote, a bad deal. Now, in using language that could have described a scene out of that post-apocalyptic film Terminator Salvation, Benjamin Netanyahu described the Middle East with a nuclear-armed Iran as one that would constantly be on the verge of Armageddon. But the only problem is that right now, Iran is just 2 months away from developing a nuclear weapon, and the point of a deal would be to extend that breakout time to a year for over a 10-year period. Now, in his response, President Obama said that Netanyahu only gave the world 3 choices with his speech, either a nuclear-armed Iran, a deal, or war, trying to apply logic like Spock to the emotion of Netanyahu's Captain Kirk. Well, let's just hope that in the end, logic prevails. The next number up today is 7.5 million. That's the number of people who could lose their subsidy and health insurance if the Supreme Court rules against the Obama administration in a case before it today, King versus Burwell. Now, the case was brought by a Virginia man who didn't want to buy health insurance as the law mandates. He filed suit and was backed by a number of conservative groups who hope to damn the law on a technicality, getting all Johnny Cochran on us. Now, the law provides a subsidy for those who can't afford to buy health insurance, but those who wrote the 2,000-page law made a technical error saying that the subsidy was only available to those who bought their insurance through a state exchange, when most people buy their insurance through the federal government exchange. And if the Supreme Court rules against the Obama administration, all those people would lose their health insurance. Well, those who wrote the law says that this argument is just preposterous and that the intent was clear, and it's how it's being carried out. Well, we'll just have to see what the Supreme Court says. But my question is, where were all these people to be all technical on the U.S. Constitution during Jim Crow? The last number up today is 7, as in 7-1. That was the vote of the Alabama Supreme Court last night, mandating that probate judges across that state only issue marriage licenses to heterosexual couples in defiance of a federal court ruling on gay marriage in that state, and sowing the seeds of confusion on marriage across Alabama yet again. Now, in an argument better suited to the Confederate States of America rather than the United States of America, the Alabama Supreme Court says that states can ignore federal laws whenever they wish, and of course, in so doing, resurrecting the worst of Alabama's legal tradition, going back to Jim Crow and stretching through civil rights. Well, we'll just see how all of this turns out. But if Ava DuVernay wants to create a sequel to her movie Selma, the Alabama Supreme Court last night gave her the material.